Welcome to Candid Conversations with Dr. Kelly, where we dive deep into the conversations that matter most to your mind, body, and soul. I'm your host, Dr. Kelly Utenham, a passionate advocate for brain health and wellness. And here on this podcast, we explore candid conversations about life, health, and the stories that shape us. Whether it's about mental health, sports, or simply navigating everyday challenges, we keep it real, raw, and relevant. Without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Welcome to another episode of Candid Conversations. I am very excited to have our first transatlantic international episode with the fabulous Natalie Yona. She is a speech language pathologist, and she works for an incredible company that I swear by called Cognishine. I would like Natalie to introduce herself and explain a little bit about her journey into being a speech therapist and get into Cognishine.
Well, hi, Kelly. I'm so happy to be here today. I'm very excited being in your podcast. And as you said, I'm a speech and language pathologist with already 16 years of clinical experience. Yeah, time flies. I specialize in child development and in rehabilitation for adults with acquired language impairments. I've gained my experience throughout the years working in major hospitals in Israel, one of them, the Sheba Medical Hospital, in the geriatric department. And I also worked throughout the years with children and with the developmental delayed speech disorders, language disorders. Love the combination of working with two audience from day one. Um, and all those times in parallel, I've also worked in my private clinic, meeting children and meeting adults. And adults, I also do home care, home visits. Yeah. See them at home at their natural environment and treat them. Throughout my career, I've held senior management positions too in the public sector in Israel. My last one position was a district speech language pathologist manager in a major health maintenance organization. And currently I'm at Cognishine, leading the clinical team, the speech language pathologists in our company, which are based worldwide. We have clinicians working in Israel, working in the States, working in Europe. Yeah, we're a big clinical team of SLPs and OTs too. And I'm going to just tell you about the wonderful things that we do at Cognishine
Ah,
and how we create our platform.
you
So
have you have a lot of experience in a lot of different settings, and I think that's fantastic that you see both sides. You know, speech a lot of times is divided between adults and peds, and you do both. I think that's fantastic, which makes you like the perfect person to be leading over there at Cognishine.
thank you.
So you are in Israel. I believe that when we first got connected, I was told that you were in the United States for a little bit and then you moved to Israel. So could you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, I was born in the States, raised up until I was 12. And then when I was 12, my parents moved back to Israel. My parents are Israeli. So they moved back with the whole family, and I'm here since then. But I'm still connected with my friends and lots of family members that we still have in the States. Actually, just a few months ago, I was at the ASHA convention. So I got to meet a cousin of mine who's also a speech language pathologist
Cool.
at the convention. Yeah. And my friends too. I flew after that to back to New York City and I met with my friends and my family there. So it was a great opportunity to combine business and pleasure.
Yeah. Well, I wonder, was the weather better in Israel when you left to come to Asha?
The weather here it was winter. But it wasn't too cold. You know, our winter isn't Seattle's winter. or New York City's winter, but it was fine. I managed the cold.
Okay, good. Okay, last question on this. How does the international space work with ASHA and Cs and all of that? Is there a reciprocity with Israel? What's that process like?
You mean the creating of the content from point of view?
Well, just like with ASHA, you have to have your Cs and all of that. So how does that work with you having your Cs and being in Israel?
Well, we had a booth at the convention. So once we are digital platform aiming for telehealth and a platform that aims to basically allied therapists, allied healthcare therapists, we are able to showcase our product at the booth with no problem.
Well, my question is, I have 9 licenses and I see people in multiple states, and international work has always been of interest to me. So I was
Mhm.
wondering, like, if I'm licensed and I have my Cs in the states, would being able to provide speech therapy in Israel be a possibility?
Unfortunately, it's not a possibility since I studied in Israel and I can't treat or have therapies in the States either. So my license is good for Israel only. And I know that in the States, your license is also different. You know, you can't treat all the 50 states, I assume, right? You have to get licensed in each state. So same here. Actually, our study curriculum is a bit different here in Israel than it is in the States. You guys need to you need to have your bachelor's, right? And then a master's in order to start practicing. In Israel, we study 3.5 years, a combined degree of speech and audiology, speech language and audiology together. Yeah, we study both, very intensive schedule, studying 5, sometimes 6 times a week, the whole day, up until like 10 hours a day, lots of classes, lots of courses. Yeah, it's it's a long journey to become a speech language pathologist in Israel. But unfortunately, even after doing that journey, I can't practice anywhere else besides Israel once I get licensed here.
Interesting. Okay. I know some countries offer reciprocity, but I wasn't sure if Israel was one of them. But I think that is fascinating. Well, I am a nerd like that, so I may ask you questions later on about like what that was like going through your journey to get to a speech therapist in Israel. But we are going to hop into the wonderful topic of Cognishine. What drew you to this platform, to this
Well, to this company. Well, as I said, I had a big managing role before my position at Cognishine, and I managed basically the healthcare services or the speech language pathology services for Israeli citizens in the center of Israel. And I felt that I was ready for a different kind of challenge, a different kind of management, something that I can really have an impact of lots of people worldwide and not only on one-on-one therapies. And then I connected with Cognishine and I heard about the tremendous platform and the work that they were doing, and it was very interesting. And I understood that I have a big chance and a big opportunity to really, you know, create something with my team and create activities that can impact people all over the world, on the therapist's lives and the client's lives.
Well, you absolutely do. You have changed my practice. My patients love the activities and materials. I love the activities and materials. I haven't used a hard copy material since this was introduced to me. And we've said the name several times, but will you please tell listeners what Cognishine is?
Cognishine is a comprehensive software platform. We're browser based and we consist of multiple therapeutic tools. We have a rich library of high quality real life multimedia resources, like puzzles and stories and images and videos. And what we do is we provide therapeutic solutions and therapeutic materials for SLPs, OTs, PTs, psychologists, social workers, educators, anyone that can really treat patients and work with people. And we just aim to make their lives easier in using these materials and digitizing any kinds of therapeutic tools that are used to working in their clinics.
Yes. There are so many things about this platform that I love. I love that you can filter the activities to be specific to what it is that you want to work on. And I feel it solves so many different challenges that clinicians talk about on a day to day, whether it's from having more diverse materials, age appropriate materials, real life material. So I love that, with my clients who have aphasia, who have had a stroke, that we get to do naming exercises and you get to see a real picture. It's you
Mm-hmm.
can have illustrated images if you want to. So if you're working with the
Children.
pediatric population, that's perfect. And you can filter out if you want only to focus on exercises for children or only exercises appropriate for teens and adults. And I also love the component where you can filter and modify the kinds of exercises for articulation. So you can
Mm-hmm.
tailor if you would like to work on blends or exclude blends, the different syllables even, and how many times the target is going to show up in a word. I love this. I love this platform so much, and I love how it's tailored. And you shared with me that it is also, there is a Spanish version, and you can use it the same time as the English. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, of course. Our platform is multilingual. And not only that, it's multicultural. So what we did is, besides building the American version, the English version, we also have, for example, an English or British version. And then we went on creating a Spanish one that was oriented for the Hispanic population within the North America. And what we do is we create, say, an activity, a new activity in English. It is automatically translated to Spanish and to all other languages we have, which is Russian, Arabic, Hebrew, German, Turkish now too. So we translate all the activities and we also culturally adapt, okay, the activity and the images we have inside and the content that we create to the specific population that we work with. So for instance, if you're in the States, you would see, I don't know, if you want to filter something for sports and you'll see soccer, okay? But then if you're at England, you'll see football, for instance, or other things that are relevant, or rugby, okay? And so you can really see the cultural or adaptness of the platform for the specific language that you work in. And I think the best thing is that, working with diverse patients or patients that are bilingual, it's very helpful because sometimes, you don't have a bilingual therapist on board. But once you know that specific activity and you get to know it well in English, you can use it or send it home for self-practice in the native language that they speak, in their home language, in Spanish or any other language that you need. So it's really helpful also for the therapists, but also for obviously the clients or the patients you work with. It's really exciting.
And exciting, yes. One of my favorite parts about the multicultural features is the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I see clients who are of different cultures, and to be able to find materials that they can identify with, it really, really makes them excited about therapy and interacting with the different exercises. And I love the celebration that is incorporated at the end. They'll have confetti and and applause for the clients, and they can hear it. I am a telepractice, so I get to share my screen and they can see it and they can hear it. So I love that component of it.
Yeah, we are trying to make the materials as much more motivating and for the client. And the more you find something interesting for your patient, then the more effective the therapy is. So it really is something that we aim to.
Yes, I was just listening to a story of someone that I follow, and they said that research is showing that when patients, when therapists incorporate things that interest the patient, it really increases their engagement and their motivation to participate, which is something I really strive to do. And thanks to Cognishine, I have such a huge plethora of options for my patients. And I love that the decks are ever changing, ever updating. Can you speak about that? How are you all able to do that?
Well, we are a large team. We have lots of different kinds of activities, and on the platform today, we have approximately 3,000 activities, I think. Yeah, 3,000. It's a big number, and we're growing daily. I can really say in full confidence that we have new decks going on the platform every day from different activities and in different languages. And the way we work is that we don't only think of the things that are missing by ourselves, but we also encourage getting feedback from our clients and our customers, and getting the feedback of things that really they want and they need, or things that interest their clients, the people they work with, in any area they want, sports or hobbies or holidays, TV series, current affairs, you name it. And we just tailor whatever they'd like to be on the platform for them to use and to access in a simple way. We really think that if you boost the patient's engagement in therapy, you'll see better outcomes in your therapy.
Yes, well, I'm definitely seeing better outcomes, better engagement, excitement even. And a lot of times patients at the end, they'll say like, that was fun. One of another favorite feature, I mean, I keep saying favorite. I love this platform. I really do. And you mentioned, you touched on it a little earlier. We can share the exercises for homework and send them to our patients. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, of course. I think that's one of the most important goals in our therapy is not, to practice or a skill or to within the session, but to have the carryover once the session is done. So through the platform, you can create boards. Boards are like Pinterest boards, where you can just pin different kinds of activities on different kinds of topics, either per patient or skill you're working on or any therapeutic goal. And you can even create boards for a treatment plan. And once you've allocated all the activities that you want on that specific board, you can easily share with the client, either by an SMS, an email, a QR code that he gets. And then he accesses it with no credentials, just clicks on it and he's in. He sees his self-practice. He sees his homework. Okay, whenever he wants, whenever he can practice several times and not only once. And the best thing is that you can also monitor what he practices and how well he did, how many hours did he put in practicing. So you don't have to rely only on, so how was homework last week? Or did you practice? You don't have to rely on their answer. You can really get data on what they did, what they practiced. You can know if you see that, for instance, some activity he I don't know, practiced it like half hour that one in one session, that was probably very interesting and engaging for him that he kept on practicing it. And if you see that the other activity, he practiced less, maybe it was too hard. And then you can really be flexible also with your treatment plan and make changes. So we really found the boards very useful in ensuring better carryover of your treatment.
The convenience is such a fantastic feature. I can have a session that's pretty back to back, but between sessions, it's so convenient that I can take the board that we just worked on. And I love that you can create a board like in a short amount of time. I can go through, select what I need for my patients, assign it to their board. And that's the other thing I love. It's organized so well. So you can have a board, a collection of things pinned to the board for each patient, each client that you have. And I can go in, copy, and share the link or the QR code with my patients, send it to them in an email or directly from the website. And just like that, that piece is complete. And then I can go right into my next session without having to be concerned about forgetting to go back and send something to them.
I know it is. It really is fabulous. It just saves us so much time in preparing things. And I remember myself going to the copying machine and copying cards and sending worksheets and going inside my computer and finding where I save those. And it's so easy now to just send them homework and tell them to practice and ensure that they really have fun and it's interactive for them while doing all the activities that you send. So it really is a big ease for the therapists too, and not only fun for the clients.
Yes, when you said copy machine, it took me back. I was thinking about that darn laminator,
Oh
having to
my God.
laminate the sheets and cut them up and
Yeah,
don't want
well,
to make a
we don't
mistake.
have to do it. You really don't have to do it anymore. We do give the option because we know that sometimes, there are patients that prefer things in hard copy. So most of our activities are still printable. So whoever wants to who find that useful for them, we still have the option to print some of the activities. But it's really so easy to just send them with a click. That I don't think people use it as much.
I don't think they do, but that's great that it's the best of both worlds because some people probably still enjoy that hard copy, which laminating would benefit. But for those who don't have to or use the telepractice option or route, this is just the best of both worlds. Could you please talk to us about group settings? So you can use Cognishine in person, telepractice, individual group setting. It's so versatile. Could you speak to
It,
that?
it's a versatile platform with multiple therapy options. So as you said, you can use it in a one-on-one setting in person or in telepractice, but also in group settings or when remote settings like you do. In group sessions, I just received a video a few days ago of elderly care group that a therapist put on the Cognishine on a big screen. Around the table were sitting about 10 elderly people, and he had a sorting game on, and they all together had to sort images they saw into two different categories. And it was so nice to see how things that like we work on can be used in different kinds of setting and with different kinds of people and backgrounds. And it was so engaging to see them working together. So there's really multiple ways of working with the platforms. Lots of therapists that work in special ed in kindergartens use it also for group sessions within kindergartens with children. There's lots of ways and lots of activities that you can work together. I've also heard of a therapist that told us that she uses, we have one of our activities, the storytelling, where you see 4, 5, 6, 7 images, depending on the difficulty level of the story. And they sit together, a few kids around the table with the iPad in the middle, and they start thinking of the right order of the story, and then work on their narrative skills in a group session with the iPad in front of them. So it's very fun and engaging. And then they learn from each other, and the therapist gives them the right model, and then they can imitate it and say it again with her. So that it's very engaging to be, together in a group and work with a platform too.
And you just mentioned how young kiddos can work on this and still be engaged, and the geriatric population, the seniors, they can work on it and still be engaged. And on my end, working with adults, I absolutely can attest that they love it. Um, so the filters, they allow you to pick what is going to be appropriate, but they also allow you to pick the challenge level. You said, a more challenging level a little earlier. So they
Yeah,
divide the challenges by, or the challenge level by letter. So you start with A, and that is
the
the
most
easier,
simple.
yeah, the
Mhm.
simpler exercises, and then it goes up to B and C. Is there a D? There is a D in some of the
Sometimes it
exercises.
depends on what kind of activity. There's sometimes a D, there's even an E. What we do is that every activity that we create, we put in lots of thought of the difficulty levels from really the basics and up until high levels and within the same activity. Um, each activity is basically structured the same. You can go inside and read the instructions of how to use it, what's the goal and the aim of this specific activity, and how we structured out the difficulty levels. So for saying, for example, the storytelling that I was sharing before, you would see that level A would consist of probably 4 images, and the story that is like more temporal, no big problem in the story. And then a B1 level will be more images and a more complex problem that you have to deal within the story. And then C would be even 7 images or 8 images. So every task or every activity that you see is structured out in different kinds of levels, and it's very helpful for the therapists and also for the families who get the self-practice after, and they want to see, if they want to refresh their memories and to know how to work with it. It's all there, and it's in very simple language for them to understand too. So yeah, we put in a lot of thinking in that material in the level of our activities. And you were saying before about our filtering system. So not only can you filter in different kinds of categories that we have, you can also filter the activities for your specific audience that you work with. So if you're, for instance, working with kids only, you can filter the activity and look for things that are more oriented for peds and for kids. Or if you work with adults, okay, you can also choose the activities, and even within each activity, the specific deck that will be more suitable for adults. So you can really find whatever you want in a very easy manner.
I find it very helpful that you do structure the exercises in a similar way, with the levels increasing in challenge. So you increase the challenge level, but the previous challenge level is still laid out the same way. And I find that very helpful because it reminds me of a patient that I work with, and we started at a higher level. We started her at a C for an activity for daily planning. She was planning a calendar for a senior center. See how functional these exercises are?
Mhm.
And we started at a C, and she said, "This is too hard." And so, as a speech therapist, you can see the challenge level. So it was multi-step directions, a lot of uh, cognitive flexibility and requiring of consideration of, okay, well, this person's going to be here on this day and at this time, and there's a lot of mental manipulation there. But we were able to take it down a challenge level to B, and she was able to get more comfortable with it, get better acclimated. And by the next week, she was already working at level C and feeling way more confident and super excited. So I really think that helps, that the structure, the layout of it is the same, but you increase that challenge level with each step. So I love that component of it.
And also think of how easy it was for you to be flexible within the therapy. You found something you thought that maybe starting with a C and found it was too difficult or frustrating for her. And then in an instant, by a click, you lower the level into a B and your therapy can progress, can move on. There are some people that can become very frustrated or working with kids. Sometimes giving them too hard activities may help, they will become angry or they won't want to do it. And they're sometimes so stubborn. But then if you find the solution very quick, you can still continue working in an instant. So it is very, very helpful to
That
have those
motivation.
levels. And yeah,
Yes, that motivation is definitely a game changer. And I feel Cognishine does an excellent job of meeting the clients where they are, and then the speech therapist or occupational therapist being able to pivot whenever they need to, and it is quite convenient. And I did say occupational therapist, so could you talk a little bit about the other disciplines that this platform works with?
of course. So our aim is really to have activities not only for SLPs, but to all our colleagues working in our team. So it can be OTs, it can be also PTs. We're starting to create activities for PTs too, for psychologists, for social workers, for educationals, for teachers. Our activities can really find different kinds of skills that you can work on and functions, memory function, executive functions, reading, writing, vocabulary, social impairmenting, identifying emotion. It's really endless. And we aim to have a range of activities that suits different different therapists from different professions. And the best thing is that even if we create an activity that is, say, more OT oriented, we always find a way how to use each other's activities. So you mentioned before the daily activity tasks, where it's sometimes based on reading sentences. So you can work on your reading comprehension skills through an activity that was firstly created for OTs. So the activities really overlap, and you can find yourself working on different kinds of activities from different fields, and maintaining your goal. All you need to know is what your treatment plan is, what the skills you want to work on, and you can find the right activity for you. It really reminds me that in less than a month from now, we will be launching our new website. And I think the highlight of our new upgraded website is that it would be more tailored for different kinds of therapists. Our new version will have a better personalization and customization to your profession. So once you log on to the platform for the first time, you will be asked, what is your profession? What audience do you work in? What's the population you work in? Is it peds or is it adults? What kind of setting? What do you want to see now when you're working? What kinds of materials you want to see? And the whole site will adapt and customize according to your profession. And you will see things that are more relevant to the population that you work with. And also, you can you can customize the website according to the languages that you choose. So if you're a bilingual therapist, you can choose to see always the English and the Spanish versions and to see all the activities within both languages. So it's really going to be customized and a lot more easier to navigate inside the platform. We're waiting for the big change. It's going to be very personalized and very accessible, and also very nice to see. Refresh design.
Well, I am very excited to see this. Now, we are recording in March. It will launch in April, which is when this will air. So people will be able to go directly to it. You won't have to wait. I do. But I want to know, when will I be able to get started using it? Do we know when in April?
In a month from now, exactly a month from now, we assume that we're going to already be on air. So we're
Okay.
working very hard to stay on schedule. Our whole team is working around the clock for having the upgraded version on the air on time.
I feel so exclusive, like I get the behind the scenes that it's coming out. I can't wait to I can't wait to use it and see everything. If people wanted to get this platform, how do they do that?
Well, I would recommend them to just go on cognishine.com and firstly just take a look at our tremendous platform and all the activities that we have. There's many activities, I think dozens of activities that are all already have free access for them to use and to try and to trial by themselves with their clients, get a sense of the things that we create. It's only the tip of the iceberg. I said we had thousands of activities, so they only have dozens to stay with the sneak peek, but I think they will get a sense of how great our platform is and how different kinds of activities you can use. And then if they want to trial, they can I'll send a request to trial and we'll open the website for a short trial. And I assume they will fall in love like you did and like I did, and they will see how it is a game changer of their therapies. And if they want to subscribe, they can easily buy a license. I recommend the yearly one. It's a lot cheaper. Um, but yeah, so if you're a private therapist working, on your own clinic, you can always buy a license. But we also work with big organizations, with school districts, with hospitals. We aim to sell to those organizations that buy the platform for their therapists. And once they do, they can use it freely with no limit of the number of clients they see in using the platform. It really is a tremendous platform and a game changer in their whole therapy work.
Definitely a game changer. I can attest to that. If you can't hear how I keep talking about how I love this platform. So I am, yes, a private practice owner, but for those who do work in hospitals or in the school systems who are listening to this episode, and they aren't in charge of that sort of a thing, what can they do? Who should they be contacting to connect them to you? Would they direct that person to your website? What should they do for the larger?
Yeah,
Um,
they can go directly to our website. They could schedule a demo on the website, and our team will get back to them shortly and show them around the website, train them, open them up for a trial, and just try the magic, use them and do the platform's magic.
I like that. Try the magic. Is there anything else that listeners need to know about Cognishine before we scoot to the next part of the podcast?
I think the most important thing is that if they are looking for something that is a game changer for them and something that would really cut their preparation time, reduce their burnout. I think, we work in a profession that we feel the burnout very quickly. Working with families, seeing lots of clients, planning the therapies, I think it really is a game changer in that point of view because it just makes our life easier. Lots of ready-made activities already there for us to use to tailor our therapies to our clients in any language they speak. I think that the most important thing that we do.
I agree. It's definitely a game changer. It is a time saver. And I just can't say enough about it. I really encourage those who are listening to go and check it out, do the trial, reach out to the team, ask for a demo. They are so friendly and accommodating. As you hear, they are international, so they work with the different time zones. I believe the first person I connected with was in Canada. So it is an international operation, and now they are
Correct.
coming to the States. So I really, really encourage all of my listeners to go and check out Cognishine and share it with your colleagues. This platform is appropriate for all areas, all demographics, and I can't wait to see what is to come with the rollout in April. So I am sitting here very anxiously waiting. But you
There's
all
a
really
lot to
should.
wait for.
Yes,
There's a lot
over
coming up.
yes, over 3,000 decks. So there is something for everybody. Please make sure that you go and check it out. All right. So now we're going to do the candid questionnaire. This is where I'm going to ask you 5 fun questions. And here we go. What is one word your friends would use to describe you?
Responsible.
That's such a speech therapist thing. Responsible. Well, that is a good thing to be described as.
Yeah, I think I'm a very responsible. Well, it's not my only feature, but I think I'm responsible. I'm a dedicated person. I'm someone you can count on.
Well, you'd have to be. You lead a very large team at such a great company. I think responsible is the perfect word to describe you then. Okay, number 2, if you could instantly master any sport or physical skill, what would it be and why?
Well, it's fun. It's interesting you asked me about sports. I love sports. I do lots of sports. I work out about 4 to 5 times a week.
All right.
Yeah. I think jumping rope would be something I would answer. Yeah, I'm very good at that. I can jump rope for, I don't know, maybe half hour consecutively.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you've already mastered that skill. What could you instantly master, like things that you're not great at yet? What's something that you wish that you could master?
Um, Maybe cycling, I
Ooh,
think.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The endurance required for that is quite intense. I have a bike, but I use it intermittently. I'll say that.
Hmm.
But that does require a lot of endurance. So I completely understand there. Okay, number 3, what is one activity or hobby that you find most relaxing or beneficial for your brain?
Well, I really like cooking. Um, I have 4 children, so I cook a lot and I
Wow.
like cooking. I think that the kitchen is the center of the house and it always brings, people together and my family together. Yeah, I like cooking, a lot more than I like baking, for instance. Um, yeah, so give me a few pots and pans and I'll have a great meal prepared.
All right. Win-win. Beneficial
Yeah.
for you, or it's relaxing and people get a great meal out of it. I was just talking with a colleague of mine about like active meditation, like actual activities that you can do that really just relax your mind. Mine is riding motorcycles.
Wow.
You really have to focus on that task and everything else just kind of fades away. So I didn't think about it as meditative, but I suppose that it can be, just like cooking can be. All right, number 4, what's the weirdest or most unexpected item in your bag or car right now?
Weirdest. I don't know. I have basic stuff in my bags. Um,
Or unexpected, doesn't have to be weird.
don't know if I have something unexpected in my bag now. I think you can find lots of things in my bag. As I said, I'm a mother of 4, so I have basically everything inside my bag for any scenario that will happen.
See,
So
You've got the mom bag, so you've got
Yeah,
all kinds of things that could be needed.
exactly.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, last question. What is your go-to guilty pleasure TV show, movie, or song?
Mm, chocolate.
Ooh, that's a good one. Any
Yeah,
specific kind?
I love chocolate. Well, I like mint chocolate. I love mint chocolate or raisinets.
Ooh, see, yes, Raisinets. I could eat a whole box.
Me
The
too.
the rectangular ones. And now they have
Me
the
too.
Raisinets in bags.
And then they're huge. I just
I
finished one the other day.
You did?
Yes.
For those, I like when I get the bag, because I do get the bag, I will pour the Raisinets in like a small snack bag, like portion control. They're just so convenient and delicious.
Good thing I work out a few times a week.
4 to 5 times. That's more than a few.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Natalie, for joining today. This has been
Thank
so
you.
enlightening and fun. I can't say enough about your wonderful company. Cognishine is fantastic. Listeners, I'm serious. Please make sure that you check it out. There will be a link in the show notes for how you can check out the website. Natalie, any final words?
Thank you very much for having me. It was a great time. I was so excited to explain about our wonderful platform to all your subscribers. Thank you.
It is my pleasure. Thank you. We will absolutely remain in touch because I can't wait for this rollout in April.
Soon
You
to come.
listeners, it is, and listeners, it is out now for you. So we're recording this before it launches, but right now you can go and check it out right now. Check out the link in the show notes and just thank you, Natalie, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Candid Conversations with Dr. Kelly. I hope today's discussion left you inspired, informed, and ready to take on your next challenge with a clearer mind. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Until next time, keep striving for a healthier mind and a happier life. I'm Dr. Kelly, and this has been another Candid Conversation.